Hey everybody, Peter Parks here with DNA Wealth Blueprint 3.0. Welcome to this module. So in this module here, what we're going to be talking about is sub-IDs and how to set them up for maximum profitability and how we as super affiliates set up our sub-IDs so that we know how to scale our campaigns. Now, if you follow the red arrow here with the relationship, at the end of the day, what's really important is I understand a lot of people out there want to see things from a macro level. They want to see it from a 30,000 mile high view. But as super affiliates, if we track down to the micro level, we track everything. The big data is going to come from the smallest maneuverable positions that we look at. The smallest things that we can optimize and scale are going to produce the biggest amount of results for us. This is the way we look at it. So this is why I say when you're tracking, you need to have a really firm tracking solution. My tracking solution is CPV Labs. There's other tracking solutions out there. That's just my recommendation because with CPV Labs, you can track down to literally past 30 different levels of data that you need to see. There's a lot of tracking solutions out there that track maybe 10, 12, maybe 15 tops. CPV Labs is tried, tested, and proven. I know a whole bunch of super affiliates that are doing 8 figures that run with CPV Labs, no problem. So that's my recommendation to you. You can go with any tracking service as long as you're tracking. So let's get into the sub-IDs. So how I set these up, and I'm going to go into one of my CPV Labs installations so that you can see how I set this up. But first of all, I'm going to walk you through it step by step, and then I'm going to go into one of my installations, and then you're going to see how that's set up. So I like to set up, and the reason why sub-IDs are so important is you have to understand, if you don't track, you don't know. If you are not tracking every variable possible, that is money that you're leaving on the table. And when you're trying to scale your campaigns, that is a lot of money that you're leaving on the table. So let's get into it. The first sub-ID I always set up is the traffic source. This is just self-explanatory. If you're not tracking your traffic source, you're not setting that up, you don't know where your conversions are coming from what traffic platform, then you're wasting money. This is a rookie mistake. This is even a mistake that even affiliates that are doing high 5 figures to 6 figures sometimes make. Your second sub-ID you want to track down to the ad group level. So whether that's on AdWords or Facebook, you need to track down to the ad group level, because when you're looking at your ad groups, you're going to be able to quickly distinguish which ad groups are bringing conversion, which ad groups are making movements, from which ones are not. You turn them off immediately. The third sub-ID you track is down to the ad set level within the campaign. So this is crucial that you know how to maximize and look at which campaign is moving. So again, you want to set up a sub-ID right down to the actual level within the campaign itself. So again, there's going to be campaigns. There's going to be set ad sets within the campaigns. These ad sets are very crucial that you separate them. So the bottom line is you don't want to get complex. Don't overanalyze and don't confuse yourself. Set it up like A, B, C, D, E, so you can quickly look at it, or color coded: red, blue, green, yellow, black. So this is a thing that you need to understand too. You need to be able to make sure that you have a checklist of how you're doing everything, because if someone's trying to reverse engineer what you're doing, another affiliate, CPA network, a advertiser, because they're trying to look at what's going on, where your data is coming from, you need to make sure you disguise all your sub-IDs, right? The fourth sub-ID is the interest. Now, this is in regards to the interest, so you know which interest is working within which ad set is working, so you can quickly look at scaling the interest out. It's very important that you max out all your interest, because when you max out an interest, what you can do now is take that interest into a lookalike audience and then max that out. So you're scaling, so you're doing two different types of micro scaling, okay? Understand that's very important. So let's go down to the next one. So you need to be able to track a keyword performance and a content network performance as well. These are called AdWords modifiers. I'm going to do a little bit of AdWords. I'm not going to talk too much about it because I'm the Facebook guy. Yes, this is part of media buying, but you got to understand AdWords too. So if you're running your AdWords report, you want to be able to track your keyword performance. If you're running on the content network, you want to be able to track on the content network as well. So you want to be able to separate where on the content network, with your sub-IDs, are you getting your conversions from. So understand that. These are just your modifiers for your keywords. Number five, the next sub-ID you want to be tracking is your creative. Now, there's no sense tracking everything else and putting everything else into a sub-ID category if you're not going to be tracking your creative. How do you know which creative is going to be converting if if you don't put a sub-ID on it, right? So number 6, you want to split up your sub-IDs with each creative, so you're running 3 banner ads. So you want to have a sub-ID for each banner so you know which banner is converting. Now, when I see some affiliates setting up their sub-IDs, they just put if they even do the creative, they just do one creative. If you're setting up and you're running more than 4 or 5 banners, and you're going to see how I set this up, you need to set up a sub-ID for each creative, for each banner, so you understand, you can look at your reporting and your data doesn't lie. You look at the reporting and you see, bang, banner 4G black, boom, this one's converting at 4%, right? Versus banner 3F white, that's converting only at 1.5%, right? You need to look at those kind of things, right? Then you set up your sub-ID for every image size so you know which banner and which image is converting. Then you join the winning headline with the banner and image and you scale. So understand what I've just said there. You set up the sub-ID for each image size as well. So when you set that up for the image size, you set the banners up, you know which banner is working, you know which image is working, you know how to put your headline together with that banner and with that banner size, and then you want to scale that out as well. Okay, let's close these up so we can move on. The next sub ID you want to set up is your partner ID. Now, here's the thing, okay? This is the most crucial. It's one of the most crucial to set up properly your sub ID, which is your partner ID. And here's the reason why. Just in case you're running with a traffic aggregator, right, on a traffic aggregator network, where there are literally hundreds, if not thousands of different partner sites, publisher sites, you need to know which partner is sending you good traffic, which partners are sending you fraudulent traffic or bot traffic, right? That way you can cut them off by looking at the partner sub ID, and you can put each one into a different bucket of traffic. That's just fancy lingo, a CPA lingo for setting up all your, they're called buckets. The traffic is called container buckets. So you can have a bucket of traffic of 100 websites, and out of those 100 websites, you can have 50 websites or 60 websites that are sending you really good traffic, 30 websites that are sending you so-so traffic that you're going to have to take a look at because you put up a sub ID for that particular traffic, and you can have 10 websites or 20 websites that are just sending you absolutely fraudulent BS traffic, and it's bot traffic. So you can quickly take out those 20 websites that are sending you that fraudulent traffic and put them into a container bucket and close it off through your tracking, through CPV Labs, and you can go back to the network that you're running with and say, hey, look, this is fraudulent traffic. I don't want to deal with it. I want to get a credit back for this. I don't want to touch this publisher. I don't want to touch these publishers. Don't send me any more traffic, right? So this is crucial when you want to know which bucket to scale and which bucket to avoid, right? So when you make a list and you have it all set up on automation within inside of CPV Labs, you're going to be able to know where to scale and where you're losing money. So again, by tracking it with a sub ID, you can put a bucket and you can put a label on that bucket. So you can put a blacklist IP. So you can start to build out a IP bucket where of partner IDs. So you'll know never to run ads on with that traffic source again, unless they start to clean up their act. But you don't want to be worrying about that. This is also very helpful for when you're building out a team and you have a team of media buyers. You want to be able to give them these buckets, and you say, listen, here is the buckets of publisher IDs that we no longer want to deal with. Stop wasting your time. Don't even bother trying to build out a media buying blueprint based on what's going on over here with these particular blogs or these particular publisher sites. We don't want to screw around with them, right? Also is very critical when it comes down to paying for clicks. And I remember I just discussed this, that you shouldn't be paying for, and you shouldn't be paying for fraudulent clicks. So you can go back to the network or the advertiser and say, look, I need to get a credit for these clicks here. They're bogus, they're fraudulent. Here's the proof, right? So you're going to get a credit back. This is why this is really crucial that you set up this sub ID for this particular aspect. That's very, very, very important. All right. Now, the next one is you want to be setting up another tracking sub ID for your click costs and your revenue. So this way you can pass all those variables along inside of CPV Labs. Now, there's other services that allow you to do this. I use CPV Labs. I don't screw around. Once you have a tracking service and you're very familiar with it, that's kind of what you want to use, right? So you can see right away what's profitable and what's not. So basically, as my good friend John Cresciani says, you know what I mean, you cut the red and you grow the green. So he uses Volume, which is a very nice tracking service. I've looked at it. I like CPV Labs. So every super affiliate has their own little taste of what they like. One of my other good friends, super affiliate Greg Davis, loves CPV Labs as well. So everyone's got their own taste, right? So what this does is you can look at your installation, your CPV Labs, your Volume, your MobiTrack, whatever you're using for your tracking servers. You can quickly see by looking at the report, looking at the datas. Here, this campaign is extremely profitable. This ad set is extremely profitable. These banners, these banner sizes, these banner images are extremely profitable. You bring it back together, map it out, and roll it out. Okay? Now, this is like I mentioned before in the previous module. If you get the campaign profitable with a little bit more spend, then you want to be able to go for it. If not, you don't want to be wasting your advertising dollar, where you really have to focus in on your media buying dollars so you're not wasting money. Okay? Now, your next sub ID that you're going to want to set up is for when you're running mobile traffic, all right? So this is pretty critical when you're running mobile traffic on your mobile platforms like Pocket Media. There's some really big mobile networks out there. So you want to know exactly where your traffic is coming from, on what device. You want to know what operating platform. You want to know the carrier. You want to know the browser. You want to know the model of the phone, whether or not they're on Wi-Fi or whether or not they're sitting across on data on 3G, 4G, LTE. This is very critical, important data, because what's going to happen is you are going to kill a lot of ad waste by strictly focusing on certain criteria within the mobile traffic. And also, you want to be able to design your mobile campaigns to be better optimized for the checkout experience, for the click, which is going to help you increase your conversions. You will know what's going on. So in a nutshell, you'll know whether or not tablets are you know whether or not to create your campaigns to make sure they're tablet optimized. You'll know whether or not to create your campaigns so they're iPhone 6 Plus mobile optimized. You'll know whether or not to create your campaigns so they're Android, HTC, 4G. You'll know all of that data because you'll be able to look at your data. You'll be able to put your sub IDs in those categories, and you'll be able to know exactly, all right, I don't want to screw around with this particular carrier. I don't want to screw around with this particular model, make a phone. I don't want to screw around if they're not on Wi-Fi because of this, right? Everything adds up. You need to look at your data. So that being said, this is the end of the module. I'm going to go and I'm going to show you the second part of the module, which is I'm going to go into CPV Labs and I'm going to show you how to set up your SubIDs. Okay, so that being said, my name is Peter Parks. I'll see you in part B of this module. Take care, everybody.